What do you need? Was that the devil? What do you need to know going into this weekend? Oh, you're gonna see some kind of trap or bondage, and you're gonna cut the cord, walk away from it, and the victory is yours here. So you have a protection up. You have divine protection. So it's almost like the devil shows him his face in some way to you, but your third eye is like, I'll just tell you how to get through this situation. And you cut the cord and get the victory here because you are 10 toes down on knowing who you are, and you have divine support. So if you have an interaction with the devil this weekend in some form of his existence, you've already won. Just listen to your intuition. You are about to get 3D proof of something that you have known intuitively for a while, and like, it's all but, okay, yes, that you've known for a while, but it's about to be in your 3D reality, proof-wise, of what you've known intuitively for a while. How is this coming to you? Whoever was against you, there was someone that was with them who is going to go against them to expose them of what they did. Caregiver in reverse. This is someone who should have treated you better based off of their position or title in your life. Home, take that how it resonates. What's really sticking out to me about home is invasion of privacy. There is proof of invasion of privacy that is going to make its way into your 3D, so you know that what you picked up on intuitively has been correct. Secrets out. Password? Female. Your enemies are finally understanding and valuing the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Because they put all their eggs in the basket of bringing you to your demise. And now that that is not the fate that your higher power had in store for you, they're scrambling because they didn't have a backup plan. You were not supposed to have gotten back up from their attacks. And they are trying to not be in hiding, but spiritually, they're hiding because they know what's coming for them. They know it's the end of the road, and their secrets are going to be or already being revealed. Yeah, justice is here. You're approaching the end of a cycle here because you completed certain tasks. When it comes to healing your inner child wound was causing your third eye to be off balance, and inner child is like solar plexus, but it's like it started there and stemmed upwards, this particular blockage or wound, and you've done the work to heal the inner child part. So now that healing is working its way up to your third eye, especially when it comes to stability, security, and figuring out what's the next way to bring your soul calling into your reality, because you've had to make a lot of sacrifices here when it comes to people betraying you and having to know when to pull back your energy from certain people or situations, and when to just let things go without having to have the last word. And you had a situation that occurred. You didn't have to have the last word. You were okay with just being like, okay, if that's how you're gonna be, I don't need to deal with it. And you didn't want to do that. You wanted to say something. You wanted to have the last word. But that was a test of that inner child healing that you passed. And now you're moving forward towards being able to step into action when it comes to your soul path or soul purpose. Because your third eye is going to start to increase in strength. And it's because that healing is stemming from that solar plexus inner child healing that you recently did. You have an ex-friend here, ex-colleague, ex-coworker, something. They wanted to throw rocks and hide their hand, and then now they want to act to other people like they don't know why you don't mess with them anymore. They have no idea. They are completely mind blown, at least that's how they're presenting it to other people, at why you won't give them the time of day or the energy that you used to give them. And it's because this person was untrustworthy, didn't want to see you going far, and you knew that, but you didn't need to start a fight or get proof or anything like that. You didn't want to stay stuck in that cycle. You just knew what you knew in your soul. Your intuition was telling you what was going on behind the scenes. That's just in the middle of the deck. So in the middle of it all, this person didn't want to see you win, and you knew it. So you pulled your energy back without needing to expose this person to the group, without needing to go around talking about it. But this person needs to go around talking about it a lot, trying to still block other people from seeing you in your strength here. They don't, Queen of Wands reversed. This person still wants other people to read you in the way that they read you when they made actions against you, so they could feel justified in the way that they felt. And this person is going around talking to the other group of friends, but they're not believing them because they know who you are. And they know that this other person is being very deceptive about what they're trying to do and say. So that person is about to have to watch you win and have to change the way that they're talking about you to the group. Because if they're saying, oh, you're not doing well, or oh, you're struggling or something like that, but you have a major win, what are they going to say? They can't celebrate your success because they've already talked too much. And they also can't continue to say the bad things they were saying if you're winning. So this person is going to have to start to pull back from the group that they've been talking a lot in, because you have proved them so wrong that they now have to stop their lies. And they didn't see that coming. But you put them into a trap of their own making. They put themselves into a trap of their own making. You just took the key, so they can't get back out. Because you loved yourself through the trauma they tried to put on you. And the past is where they can stay. This is the season that God officially enacts the Uno reverse on everything that they tried to send to you. He let them have several seasons of sending it and it not having full effect, sending it and it not working at all, so that they would amp it up, amp it up, amp it up, and see how far they were willing to take it. Because he knew that in this season, the Uno reverse is on. So all that amping up they tried to send to you, it's weird how it works, but it's circling back to them, and all of the magic, spells, intentions they had for you, because of who you are to God, Uno reverse. What do you need to know or do to break out of the cycle that you're currently stuck in? You're carrying this heavy burden, and you're starting to see your divine support here more fiercely because you're seeing how protected you are, because as things have amped up for you, you've seen, oh, that should have affected me a lot more than it did. And you're starting to see that that's the divine protection that you've had all along. But other people are starting to see it too now. And they're quite literally shutting their mouths about you because they're seeing your divine protection. And they're seeing that whatever they sent to you didn't work. It quite literally just backfired onto them. And because they're now more clearly seeing that, they're no longer able to believe the lies. They have to release the lies that they believed about you before, or at least that they wanted to believe about you to have you fit a certain narrative, because they saw you rise above everything that was supposed to stop you in your tracks. All when you started to use that throat chakra and speak up is when you started to externally elevate. You knew inside that there was better things coming for you. There was protection around you, but it wasn't showing on the outside yet. And you rose above the confusion. You gave yourself clarity by using your voice. And now they're double trapped in the chaos that they created when they went 10 toes down trying to stop you, and ended up, after you walked away, only stopping themselves. This is for those who wonder still if there's anything you could have done differently to have them see you more clearly, to have them understand you more deeply, to have them see where you were coming from or your intentions. No. There's nothing you could have done differently, said differently. There's no way that you could have presented yourself more clearly to get someone who is set on misunderstanding you to see the truth of who you are. And that's not a fault of yours. That's someone who was committed from the start to misunderstanding you. And in fact, you made it difficult for them to misunderstand you. They almost had to understand you because they almost had no other choice. That's why they plot and scheme and do all these things to try and project a false narrative onto you, because they don't have the strength to look in the mirror and admit that they were wrong. It was never even really about you. It was always about anything else but looking at themselves. And in the end, you made it very difficult for them not to have to look at themselves, because you proved their false accusations and false narratives so incredibly wrong. You showed them how wrong they were just by simply being. They have no choice but to look at themselves and say, why did I feel the need to dump all of my life's traumas into destroying a person who quite literally couldn't give a shit less about me? As in, once you saw their true colors, you were done with them. And rightfully so. And they still continued to obsess over you. They're starting to realize that it wasn't necessarily obsessing over you so much as it was obsessing over anything that's not looking in their own mirror and seeing the monster that they created themselves to be. But that's what you get when you actively choose to dump all your time and energy into trying to destroy someone instead of just focusing on yourself. You trusted that your higher power would work things out for you, while they tried to take it into their own hands. It's clear to see who's going to win in the end here. And it's not them. you can't expect to treat people shitty and live a beautiful life. That's their lesson. There's someone who wants to come and have a casual conversation with you, but they owe you an apology. So instead, they're going to come with some kind of fake offer, the Tower in reverse, that you should not even entertain. Two of Swords, it's like they're going to try and mislead you, and it's like, look over here, not over there type of thing. Ace of Wands reverse, King of Wands reverse, stop this person in their tracks and say no thank you. If someone comes to you to have a casual conversation, but they owe you an apology and you both are aware of that, and it's kind of like an unspoken thing, you're not interested in what they have to say right now. Because Tower in reverse again, Nine of Swords. They're trying to set you up to fall back into old ways that you already destructed and deconstructed from your life. Strength and the Hermit both in reverse. They want to make you doubt yourself and not be able to look internally at the healing and growth that you've done. So if they owe you an apology and they just want to chit chat, you don't have time. After all this time, after all of the energy and effort they put into stopping you, they're not mad that they lost, because they had a feeling they were going to lose eventually, knowing how spiritual law works. They were putting out a lot of negativity, and they weren't too naive to think it wouldn't come back to them. They're mad they lost to you. They're mad that it was you that finally made them not be able to get away with doing the same thing that they had done to so many before you. Maybe not as intense as they did it to you, because they would get one over on the other people a lot quicker. You did not let them pass go when it came to that. So they're not mad that they lost, because they knew they would have to pay for what they were doing eventually. But they're mad that they lost to you. Ace of Wands up, or Ace of Pentacles upright, Ace of Wands in reverse. They knew they were going to reap the karma, but they're mad at you because how could you and this person start in the same place and end up in two totally different realities, to which they are a agent for darkness, and with all the darkness poured onto you, you refused to become like them. They're not necessarily shocked that they lost, but they're shocked that they lost to you. There's a group of people, or at least a couple people, who want to trigger you, but know that you cannot be triggered in the same way or by using the same methods that they triggered you in the past. So what are they planning to attempt to trigger you with? Death in reverse. Queen of Pentacles. Making you feel like you are not as far along as you are, or trying to diminish the work that you've done on regrounding yourself after kind of being in a storm. I split the deck to death again. They want to try and nitpick your words and try and almost like look at a bunch of things that you said, find patterns in it, and then start to pick those patterns apart when it comes to your connection with the divine. They want you to have your guard up. Why? Because they know they can't compete with you. The only way that they can get you to slow down or stop, which isn't going to happen, but the only way that they can get you to slow down is to get you to self-sabotage. But you already planted the seeds. It's like the seeds are planted and you've been watering them, and they want to try and convince you that you're not worthy of what's going to sprout, so that you go back and dig up what's already planted and watered. So someone wanted you bye-bye, and didn't go according to their plan. How are they feeling nowadays? Oh, like their corruption is exposed. And now they need to figure out a way to get out of the situation that they're in, that they created. What is their plan to get out of said situation that they created? Legal proceedings? Meaning what? No revenge. As in, they are about to get wrapped up in some kind of legal proceedings and be forced to leave you alone because your ancestors stepped in and said, you're done now, to this person. Okay. So your ancestors are pulling the, now you're gonna pay for what you tried to do to you. As in, the other person, your ancestors are telling the other person that they are going to now pay for what they did to you, something serious. Oh my gosh, and nobody can help them. Parental figure communication in reverse, that's like you can't phone a friend because they are about to be as isolated as they intended you to be through their manipulation. Because your ancestors are going to make everyone see that this person is a snake. Just, they are going to clear your name. Body double, deep fake, in reverse. So one real person, they're going to clear your name, vindicate you, and expose the snake. Password from your ancestors. Oh, they have the receipts. 5G, there's proof on this person. Unalived in reverse. It looks like everything that they thought was solid and done is about to come back to life and bite them in the butt. There's some kind of message or information coming into you, and it's going to send you on like either self-exploration or really diving into and investigating a certain topic or some kind of research or something like that. This is kind of a situation of you're making amends to yourself for something in the past. Something that you stopped looking into or weren't sure where to look to get more information, but you're calling you've called judgment on a certain mindset, and now that you've done that, you've called in the opportunity to figure out what you couldn't figure out in the past, and there's going to be a victory here. There's going to be a celebration here. It seems like a short-lived tunnel vision. Like, it's not something that's going to consume you for months or years, but it's something you're going to like really dive in deep to researching it or exploring yourself, something like that. I would say about a 2-week span. Yeah, look, your holy grail as secrets come out. It's going to reconnect you with freedom from what had you mentally trapped from a situation from the past. Almost like a mini special interest. So some of you may be neurodivergent, some it doesn't matter if you are or not in this instance, because this would be like a short-lived mental like stimulator until you get the answer that you weren't able to get in the past. Something that was causing you imbalance with your emotions, either drowning in them or repressing them, and was causing you a lot of stress and worry. But you're getting like, almost like you've had this computer in front of you and you could have used it, but you didn't know the password. You're getting the password, and once you get the password, you can unlock the computer and you can look at all the information about what it is from the past that didn't all the way make sense to you, or you couldn't figure out what it was meant to teach you, or how you're meant to learn from it. Hierophant, when I split the deck, you're getting access to the higher information that makes sense of a puzzle from your past. And it's not something that someone else is giving you. It's something that's just coming to you, victory, because you prioritized yourself. So it doesn't need to be like another person tells you something and you're like, oh, that makes sense. This is like you get the message directly from maybe like song lyrics at an exact time of a thought that was going on in your mind, or something on TV that you see that you're like, oh, I'm gonna look into that, and then it leads you to something else. It helps you put down the heavy burden and get this victory that's been long overdue. We're looking into what is the upcoming plot twist that's occurring in your life. Happiness in reverse, searching. You're not going to have to look so hard for happiness. Entrapment in reverse, trash upright. You took out the trash and now you're no longer trapped. So you're not going to have to keep seeking happiness. It's going to find you. Triggers in reverse and roller coaster. You got off the roller coaster of constantly being triggered because you learned your worth. Soulmate's here, but to me right now, soulmate is you getting back in touch with being at one with your own soul. Lockdown in reverse, before you were locked out of doing so because you were in survival mode. Interlude is over though. It's in reverse. It's time for the show to begin. Look at the popcorn. It's like, I need so much popcorn. I dumped the whole thing out. The plot twist happening in your life pop up. Everyone who was going against you is going to start to pop up, but this time you're not giving them access to your energy. Unconditional in reverse. There's a line and they crossed it. And this version of you is not letting anything slide. They wanted you to block them and you didn't, because either you don't care or you're like, at this point, go ahead and watch me win, whatever. They're literally cheersing. Settlement. Go ahead and watch me win. So this person is stuck in the past, project it and recalling. They wanted you to block them because every time they see you, they get reminded of how badly they messed up when they had access granted and they acted like a child trapped in an adult's body. So they wanted you to block them, probably so they could watch you on a different account, but not one that was logged in all the time, unconditional. They were going to watch you no matter what. So why did they want you to block them so bad? Interlude, lockdown, drama queen. They wanted to, in their mind, make you look bad. Anxiety in reverse, lockbox in reverse, projected. They have always had something to hide. So if you were to block them in their mind, because that was always their reality, if you blocked them, they could convince themselves that you had something to hide from them and that there was still energy that you were putting into the connection. So ironically, by blocking them, that in their mind is, oh, this person is still giving me energy because they're trying to hide something from me. Love affair on the bottom of the deck. Dirty little secret and down low. Receipts in reverse and karmic. They didn't get what they wanted because their receipt would be, oh look, they blocked me. They have something to hide. But you were playing chess and they were playing checkers. And they lost. What is the current gossip about you? Split the deck to the triggers card. So realization. People are realizing they can't trigger you like they used to be able to. Awareness, finding out, coming to light, ascension. People are recognizing they can't push you into the same traps that they used to be able to because they're not able to trigger you anymore. They were projecting their own insecurities, darkness, what have you, onto you for a very long time. Magnetic came out in reverse. You've dispelled all that from you. Bounty hunter in reverse, searching in reverse. They've gotten all that they thought they'd be able to use against you, and they can't use any of it. Recalling. Now they're trying to backpedal on how much they went 10 toes down against you. Meeting in reverse. These people don't want to be seen talking about you now. Love in reverse. They're scared. Financial support. What's the financial support part about? Lockbox in reverse. Whoever was getting something out of gossiping about you or spreading stuff about you, it's like they go to the safe and there's nothing in there. They're no longer being rewarded for this. Lockdown and anxiety exposed. The gossip about you right now is that people are very nervous to talk about you because they don't know who's around them that could be on your side, because there's more people who are seeing the truth now, and or they know that it's highly likely you'll go up and prove them wrong about whatever they're saying without even knowing they're saying it. Escapade in reverse. They don't have anywhere to go. They don't have a car in reverse. They don't have anywhere to go if they get caught in something that they know is false about you coming out of their mouth. You proved them all wrong, and now they're very quiet. They're shocked that you could handle it because they knew that they couldn't. They're shocked because not only could you handle it, but you allowed it to make you grow and evolve. When they were looking at it as, there's no way this person's getting back up after I knocked them down. And not only did you get up, but you got up stronger. You got up wiser. You got up more prepared. You didn't get up beat down. You didn't give them that much power over you. Not once you recognized and realized what they were doing and what their plan was. And they're shocked, quite frankly. They're shocked because they know at the end of the day, there's no way that they would have been able to handle what they dished out to you. So they're shocked. And they want to get out of this problem. Flight risk, they're like, I don't want to stay around and witness the demise that I created for myself by causing a chosen one trauma that they didn't deserve. Maybe they'll make better choices next time. Do you think they will? Well, that monster's going to be chasing them for a while, so I don't think you have anything else to worry about. So let me see if I get this straight. They wanted to project onto you the wrongdoings that they did or had a hand in so that they could get out of them. So essentially bring you down for something so they didn't go down for that something. So their way of doing this is to project onto you their own darkness so that it could bring you down to their level so they could then karma swap you. Here's the part that I'm just like, isn't that them admitting that they are the problem? They have no power. None. They only have the power that you give them and nothing else. Literally nothing. And they even know it. And I think the best part about it is the fact that their key to getting out of the chaos and mess that they chose to create is the fact that they have to finally admit what they had been running from and the reason behind why they did all this scheming. They have a wound they are avoiding, and it is causing them to act from a place of a wounded soul. Nothing for them gets better until they admit that to themselves. God's got jokes, man. He's really got jokes. The narcissist, their key to freedom is finally admitting that they are the problem. Otherwise, they're going to be running their entire life. You were never the weak one. It was always them. They thought you were blank, but realized that you are blank. They thought you were a fallen angel. They thought you were like them, but they're realizing you are divinely protected by some very concerned ancestors as to why these people were trying to project themselves and their darkness onto you. Your ancestors don't like that. You are their chosen child. And they wanted to take your light. It seems like the parts of their lives that they were comfortable in, that's what they're about to lose for messing with the chosen one. You. Where they really went wrong was they thought that you were like them because they need external and almost instant validation. And you don't, because yours comes from the divine, and you've had enough lessons to know when to hold back and wait a minute and let things settle before you take another step. In order for you to fall into their trap, they needed you sprinting after them to get the validation that you don't need, just because they're so close-minded that they think because they need that, everybody else must need that. That's why now, looking at their plan, you're like, how did they ever think that was gonna work? That's why. You are not like them. They are way too low vibrational to be able to even comprehend the essence of who you are, let alone hold space for it. It was never a you problem. They are watching their time run out. All those who are going against the collective, that was Family Dynasty that flew out. Look at how all the frames are empty. So they're watching their time run out, knowing that they are unprotected by what they previously thought they were protected by. Oh, riot and protest. I guess they're mad. No evidence. 3 would be divine protection. There's no evidence of divine protection. These people know that they are the low-hanging fruit that either has been cut or is about to be cut. Loyal in reverse. Whoever they pledge their allegiance to, cut them or is going to cut them at the first opportunity. And then all that time they spent getting dirt on the collective is going to be useless. Play dumb games, win dumb prizes. They'll learn. We're going to look at what magic has been used on the collective recently. So if you think or you know that magic has been sent your way, think of a number 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to look at what magic was sent your way. If you think multiple, then listen for multiple, whatever you feel guided to listen for. Number 1, secret space program exposed. So mind control, or at least entering your psyche to kind of look around, see what they could find, or even try and take a download. Yeah, neighborhood in reverse makes me think like breaking and entering into the mind. What was behind that? Greed exposed. So taking a download, trying to intercept divine information and or just access your mind in a way that they should not have been doing. 2, false flag. Deep state exposed. This is like lead you into a bad situation where you do something that you normally wouldn't have done because of the influence of black magic, and then like have someone right there ready to get you in trouble for it, type of thing. 3, have everybody view you as trash. How? Something promiscuous, basically get you in some kind of situation that made you look a certain way sexually. No regret. They were going to go big and go home for that one, so that could be some kind of sex magic. Yes. Okay. Okay, here's the scenario for this reading. There's 2 people who were up against you, and either hypothetically or literally you made a, let's say you made a video about this in some way. And we're going to look at how 2 people, let's say they're sitting next to each other on the couch watching your either literal or hypothetical video. What would their reaction be to you showing that you figured out their plan? Person 1. What part was an accident? That you finding out was an accident, but what led to that? Like, uh-oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. In space. You kicked them out of your psyche, and they needed that access to redirect you away from discovering certain information, but they don't have access anymore. Look at that, reaching down from the top to the bottom. You threw them out. Person 2 says, market manipulation. We need it to be in there to make this plan work. Person 1, all we can do is watch from the outside now. Person 2, yep. Person 1, we're about to get exposed for all the corruption. Person 2, how else can we take out person you? The secret is, oh. Dial it back. That person 1 or 2, whichever one it was, person 1 says, the only way that we can really stop this person now is to take them out. Person 1 said, or person 2 says, that's some real information, buddy. Person 1, we can't separate them from their divine protection, though. That's an issue. So, in summary, their only hope is getting you low enough in vibration that you sell out your light and they can then take you out, because they don't have the power to do that now. Because you're a real person. You're divinely protected, to which they cannot get in. So I put out this deck and I was like, what should I do a reading on? And what came out was King of Diamonds in reverse, King of Hearts upright, and between it, we have a card about justice and intimate relationships. So it seems like you wore your heart on your sleeve and someone else abused their power or authority over you, easily angered, prone to jealousy. This one has a trunk and a suitcase on it, also justice and a bed. So someone wanted to lock you into a very bad situation and you saw that they were not coming from the same vibration as you. You're coming in upright and you realize that they were facing the darkness here. Training wheels, people working together. It's like you were this person's project in a way. They wanted to lure you into this situation that you felt like you couldn't get out of. What was this project about? Oh, Sixth Sense in reverse. Steal your gifts or your light. Why? Oh, a soul contract. Breaking a soul this was the last step in a soul contract that you have with this person. So this soul contract is now void. Prophecy. It was always meant to be this way. They need it to be dismantled somehow, and your light was what needed to do it. So you are going to earn favor for beating this battle while they have increased their karma. So people from your past recently watched you or witnessed you put together, or are aware that you've put together a piece of their plan that failed, but that they didn't want you to know about. But they are now aware, either you're a content creator and you made a video, or through the grapevine, whatever it is, they're aware that you know. They're aware that this plan is not going to work. That was law enforcement in reverse. They broke a universal law, and at the same time, their plan is not being enforced. So anyway, how do they feel now that they know that you know about their plan that they didn't want you to know about, that has since failed? Oh, natural disaster. This makes me think of like a weatherman predicts the weather right before it comes, and you kind of know generally what's coming, but you know something's coming. They know something's coming because they know that they broke a universal law when they were told not to do that to you, and they tried to go big or go home. Now their big plan failed, and it looks like they're not going to have a home to go to. Corruption exposed, abuse of power. They were using some big means to try and stop you very boldly, thinking that they were protected by those big means. But when it comes down to it, the big guns will quickly cut those low-hanging fruit so that it doesn't end their power. End of the road for the power supply. They will cut them so quickly. And they know it too. Treason exposed. This is not going to be for everyone. This is for those who are aware that there was a situation going on in which you had to be secluded with not a lot of other people around, but someone that had been planted in your life for this purpose. And you aren't sure what the plan was, but you know there was a plan. You know it was not good for you. You've since cut this person out of your life, the one that was meant to lure you into this trap. But you aren't quite sure what the rest of the trap is for sure. This is what the rest of the trap is. So people either want to be seen how other people see you, They want to dim your light to make theirs brighter, something like that. But that's the reason behind this. People were jealous of you for whatever reason. So the plan was, okay, the whole group trap you, travel in reverse, not let you out, intergalactic travel in reverse, so keep you somewhere secluded. It's giving like kidnap. Okay. For what purpose? What, they were going to kidnap you to do what? All right. Somebody hurt you and they're acting like they don't care. Detachment and unworthy. But they care big time. They just have been avoiding it or running from it, detaching from it. Unfinished business and guilty. They feel a lot more than they are letting on that they feel. And for a while, they convinced themselves that they weren't feeling what they were feeling, but it was their destiny for this to catch up with them, because there's a major lesson that you and your presence and absence is meant to teach this person, and it's an unavoidable lesson. Holding back. They've been avoiding this particular lesson for a long time because they didn't have someone whose light shone bright enough on their like deep corners of darkness to make them have to face this. Missed opportunity after missed opportunity. This person just kept skating by learning this lesson previously. Commitment. They're learning it now. There's no avoiding it. There's no avoiding it. Conversation. They may want to reach out and talk to you. Men, they wish that they didn't do what they did. Understanding. They get it now. You weren't trying to shame them. You weren't trying to scare them or make them angry at themselves. You were just simply with your light pointing out, hey, there's something you may want to look at in your energy here, and they didn't want to see it. But chaser, that wound is chasing them now. Looking into what is going on in the world of karma for those who recently went up against you. So great source of power is in reverse. Age difference and infatuation is in reverse. So this is quite literally aging them because they've been cut off from their divine connection, if they had any at all, or whatever protection they falsely thought they had. Fateful encounter in reverse. This is like a fallen angel message here. So they're quite literally being haunted. False flame. They tried to disguise themselves as light, even though they were darkness. And now they're having to realize, ghosted in reverse. This is like the ghost coming back. Like they are quite literally being haunted for what they did to you. In separation in reverse, after I said that, the ghost, I want to say of Christmas past, I don't know, maybe that resonates for people differently. The ghost that they tried to send for you as a demon is actually in your realm an angel, because you vibrate higher. So the strength of that powerful angel is the same strength of that demon that's now going to them. Yes. So you played the player here by not really playing the player, but you walked away and didn't allow yourself to be played by the player. Soulmate in reverse. This person was a false twin flame or a karmic relationship. Unsent message. So this person really wants to reach out. This was in reverse. This person really wants to reach out. Free will in reverse. It's almost like they're trying to and they're just blocked. Divine feminine in reverse. So If you are masculine, then this person wanted to get you into a wounded feminine energy where you were either drowning in your feelings or numbing yourself from them. And if you are the feminine, then this masculine or feminine wanted to take you out of your divine feminine. You're showing up as the lion though, so you were a force to be reckoned with that they did not expect. Ego-driven, acquiring knowledge in reverse. They didn't know who they were messing with. They let their ego win because they did not know who they were messing with here. Their deceit has been exposed, and now they have so much to say. Wordless in reverse. They have so much to say, but they know that they can't come forward with whatever it is that they have to say. Twin flame in reverse and spiritual practice in reverse. This person may have done some kind of binding spell to try and get you to not leave them after you discovered their lies or deceit. Twin flame in reverse, it said it was a false twin. So it's either a false twin or a karmic connection, but it has served its purpose for you. You don't need to look back. Victim mentality, help in reverse. That person wanted you to be in this state, victim mentality, feeling helpless, and that is exactly what they are dealing with right now. Gluttonous gossip in reverse. They have nothing to say, and even if they did, nobody would want to hear it because they see the truth. Quick message from your guides. What do you need to hear today? You need to get out of your head here, especially when it comes to almost like the jukebox that's playing in your mind. Change the music of it. I don't know if that means like literally the music that you're listening to may not be helping you get out of your mind. It may be like enabling a certain internal dialogue that's not serving you, but try and make little changes today when it comes to what's coming in, like what you're seeing, what you're hearing, the changes that you can make. Try to make them, because something's trapping you in your mind. Lower vibrational energies, but it's not yours. It's not your energy is low vibrational. It's something that you're kind of going with the flow with externally that's not allowing you to be at your highest vibration. Judgment in reverse. Yeah, look how the ghost is coming out below. Why is this happening? Justice in reverse. There's a lesson to be learned about how your external environment is affecting you internally. Your connection to source here. Not having, see how the colors are flowing down from the hands into the two cups, so that you can pour out for others and continue to be full yourself. You have to make sure nothing's blocking this connection to your higher self. So it's almost like your higher self is allowing something going on externally that you could change but you haven't changed yet, just so that you can get to the point where you're like, oh, this is the thing that's affecting me, and then you can see your own power when you make that change. Oh, told ya. You're preparing to walk away from something or someone. It could be a person, job, mindset, friendship, but it's like you have to give up a little bit of control to gain what you actually need in terms of like the bigger picture control here. Your holy grail is coming to you, like your secret piece of the puzzle that makes a lot of other pieces make sense. It's coming in pretty quickly, but there's someone or something that would sabotage your progress, and that's what it is that you have to walk away from here, because it would block your ability to understand and enact whatever guidance you're going to be receiving, because something is coming in quickly for you, and it's going to give you, look, you're like graduating from the knight to the king here when it comes to divine authority. This is like something that you thought you needed, and you aren't seeing the right perspective of how it's holding you back or making you feel defeated or down. Again, it could be a mindset here, but you already have the tools to make the changes that you need, and you already made, it's like you already sacrificed whatever this is mentally, but you just have to make the external confirmation of that occur. So if it's a mindset that you already started to shift, what in your external environment needs to shift a little to match that mindset? Or if it's a person, yeah, the sun in the tower. You already see what needs to be ripped up here, but externally, the scenario is not fully matching the internal changes that you already made. So once you can kind of, yeah, look, there's your fresh start. Once you can disengage from whatever it is that's not fully serving you, your fresh start is right there. You've already called judgment and you know that you're not trapped anymore. You just need to, in order to get that victory, speak the changes that you already know that you're making. Like internal dialogue, speaking to others, whatever it is, showing yourself that you're fully confident in the changes that you internally made by translating them into the 3D. And as soon as you do that, that new beginning that you already put in the work for is right around the corner. Because you already took the swords out of your back and healed from whatever it was that was supposed to hold you back. Okay, so imagine this. There's a hallway and there's a bunch of doors on either side. And some of the doors have an X on them. You know you don't want to go in them. You've tried a couple doors and they don't open. So you kind of kept walking, kept going. Now you see this door at the end of the hallway with this glowing gold or silver light coming from under the door. And you're like, I obviously want to open that door. It's the only one that's glowing. There's obviously something better in there. But there's like this barrier that blocks you from getting that far down the hallway. For a long time, you were trying to figure out an external tool that you could use to get this barrier to go away so that you could get to this better door. Because now that you've seen the better door, you don't want to settle for a door that's not glowing. Why would you do that, right? So you've been trying to go back into the world and collect these tools so that you could get this barrier. It's like a energy barrier to go away. And what will get that barrier to instantly go away is when you become emotionally available to yourself. You've been emotionally unavailable and emotionally available to other people. But are you holding space to be emotionally available to yourself? Because once you balance that out and get comfortable in that energy where it becomes the norm, you're going to turn around and realize that that barrier is not blocking you anymore. And you can make your way into the door that's glowing. We're looking into an ex of yours that you know is in a low vibrational energy. We're going to see which low vibrational energy. Pick a number 1, 2, or 3. Number 1, Fated to Suffer and Parasite, which is interesting because this card has an apple on it, and Parasite, they are recognizing that they are responsible for all the negativity in their life right now. See how she's facing this happening, like as she's being fed the apple, she's also, or he's also, take it how it resonates, is also seeing, I'm the one who caused the apple to be handed to me. So fated to suffer, but I'm fated to suffer because I made decisions that caused my suffering now, is how this person is feeling. Pile 2. Obsession and colorless angel. If they feel like all of the color has been drained from their life since you are not there anymore. And obsession. So this would be them, and this is facing away. So they are nonstop looking at you so that they don't have to look in the mirror at themselves, because they don't like what they see because of what they did. Pile 3. Hiding your true self, and I won't cry for you. So I won't cry for you because I'm hiding my true self. This person is sprinting away from their emotions and feelings. They do not want to feel them at all. Anything but that. So let me set the scene for you for this reading. 2 people who just have come to the realization that they should have listened to the guidance they received to tell them, don't mess with this person, as in you. So they were messing with you, trying to trick you, trap you, stop you, black magic. They got clear warnings. Hey, this is a bad idea. And they decided, I'm going to continue. Okay, so they did. And now these 2 people are talking to one another because they recently have begun to realize, through 3D manifestations of the spiritual war that they decided to go into, they're now realizing that they should not have done that. Person 1 is whichever one was closer to you. Person 2 is the other person. Person 1 represented by commitment, acquisition, and responsibility. It was in reverse. So this person is quite literally sprinting away from what they've created. Person 2, it was in reverse, wisdom, paternalism, and kindness. So this person is an a-hole. So, all right, so person 1 says to person 2, oh no, I think we've been exposed. I think that what we tried to send out is coming back. Person 2, yep. They're realizing it now. They're starting to realize that God hid you in plain sight. They're starting to realize that you didn't run around freaking out about your name being dragged through the mud because you knew that a higher power was going to restore and vindicate your name. They're realizing it now, but it's a little too late. They're realizing it now after there was a line drawn in the sand and they were very far over on the other side of it. God hid you in plain sight to bring down the evil that they are. And right before God's ready to avenge your name, He lets them see. He makes them see what they refused to see before. That you're doing the work of the divine. And them trying to snub you, trying to degrade you, trick you, trap you, stop you. They're realizing now that they weren't just doing that to you. They were doing that to Him. He doesn't like that. Someone read you completely wrong. They had you labeled as someone who would be easy to fool and get one over on. And now that karma has paid them a visit for trying to step on you to get ahead, they want to run back to you and get you to nurse their wounds. They're not going to do this because they know that you don't trust them, but they have impending justice coming for a different matter. It's their karma. It's bad karma, but it's their karma. That everything hits at once. So basically, everything hits at once. Boom. That's like dropping down from the sky, and this is 2 opposing forces working together. So here's the thing. This person has something good coming in, okay? This is something that they waited for a long time. It is going to be overshadowed by the fact that the karma of what they did to you is hitting them right at the moment they should be getting to enjoy whatever good thing was coming to them. And they don't know for sure that this is happening, but they've been getting signs or messages or downloads that this is what's happening. Secret is out. Death and a rebirth, because the truth is now out. And this person knows that whatever joy they feel in the victory that they won, and this victory has nothing to do with you. It's separate from you. It's something else that they were putting work in their life probably before you were even in the picture. But they green-light it, sabotaging you. And your ancestors have been timing this. Look at that. The light is shining on not being able to walk away from something. Your ancestors have set up the timing of this in such a way that this person's going to experience like a moment of joy, and immediately King of Pentacles upright, King of Swords reverse, immediately Tower moment right after. And it's because whatever they were supposed to be getting, they need to get it so that it can be taken from them. They don't really see that part coming. They know that that's an option, but they don't see that part coming. It's gonna hurt really bad. But it's because they wanted to take something that was on the way to you. So they need to have something come to them so that they can lose it. And you probably know when I'm saying this, what area of this person's life this reward or victory is coming in at. That's what they're losing, and it's going to hit the same wound that this person wanted to hit on you, which is likely that inner child wound. And it's going to put this person into fight or flight mode for an extended period of time, because that's what they wanted to happen to you. They wanted you off balance, unable to see ahead, unable to figure out where the light's at. And now they're reaping the consequences of their bad choices. Judgment has been called, and it's not in their favor. Play dumb games. Win dumb prizes. I love this. Thank you. If God has something for you, He has something for you. No one can take it from you. It is your birthright, no one else's. Did you know that when you stop fighting and accept everything exactly as it is right now, miracles start to happen? There is a freedom in this kind of radical acceptance. Let go of unrealistic expectations and see things as they really are, not how you would like them to be. You'll be surprised at how everything seems to fall into place. When you refuse to accept things, life gets messy. You act messy, and your world stays in chaos, tension, and disarray. But don't try to force a change or manipulate circumstances. Instead, learn about what is in front of you and face it with your eyes fully open. Then you can decide, stay or go, sink or swim, move or stay still. Acceptance is the key to freedom and opens the door to the real opportunities waiting to be discovered. Set yourself and others free. See, I thought that was going to be a message for the collective, the ones that others have tried to stop, but we went the other route there. That was for the people who tried to stop the collective. God is saying there's a better way than trying to mess up the destiny that He gave to someone, because you're not going to be able to stop it. Corruption exposed. Those who tried to stop what God has in store for you, that mask falls off eventually, because they're not able to stop what God has planned. He's the one that calls the shots. and evil won't win. What do you need to hear the most right now to elevate yourself to a higher level? Releasing something that you're holding back, or releasing some kind of pain. Putting your walls down in some way, so allowing yourself to be supported. Allowing yourself to not necessarily have the next step figured out, but trusting that you're being led divinely in the right way after you release that which is holding you back. The path will be revealed to you when you do that. You don't need people's approval. You can do this release, this healing on your own. Because people are what made you need the healing in the first place. And the lesson was to know your power and to know that you are in control of which direction you take. If you are someone who is experiencing severe burnout right now, whether it be neurodivergent burnout or just burnout in general, it feels like you are carrying this heavy burden for a very long time and you made it all the way down the mountain, but you're still having trouble putting it down. This is what you need to do to climb out of this. So a higher perspective is needed here. There's something that you're meant to be learning and making an adjustment in your routine or in your mindset. And this adjustment requires a higher perspective. And once you achieve that higher perspective, the path that you're meant to take to get out of this burnout will start to reveal itself. It's about you taking back your divine authority, or like you've been taking back divine authority when it comes to the external world, but now it's time to translate that divine authority internally and figure out what needs to be adjusted so that you can pull yourself out of the state of burnout. One-sided debt. So you paid your dues externally, and now it's time to figure out what internal adjustments need to be made so that you can take the same control that you've been taking externally, internally. So that you can ground yourself and refine that stability that seems to be lost right now. It's not lost, it's still there. It's just that there was a lesson to learn that required you not being in that state of stability. And it was to learn to care for yourself in a more intricate or intimate way. Green light, go. It's time to make the changes that you need to make. Stop blocking your magic. Once you make those changes, it feels like little changes in your routine or how you care for yourself, something along those lines. Once you make those changes, you'll no longer be standing in the way of your own magic. You'll be able to rise above the situation and get back to feeling more like yourself again. What message do you need to hear about this? The reason some people have walked away from you for no reason has nothing to do with you. They have been removed from your life because the universe is taking you next. They have already served their purpose in your life. Let them go and keep moving. Greater is coming. Looking at the next battle that you're going to be facing. Something that's going to make you feel like you're not ready or able to take a leap of faith on yourself that you've been preparing to take. Not that you're not going to take the leap, but something that's going to try and get you to self-sabotage someone else, but you're going to see through it. Seven of Swords is reversed. You're going to see through what this person is trying to do. So this doesn't even feel like a battle. It feels like a trap that you don't fall into, but you still have to deal with it. You have nothing to be worried about here. They are unable to throw you off balance because your good karma is coming in. What you worked for is coming in. What you prepared for is coming in kind of quickly here. And they have one last swing at trying to get you to take yourself off the right course. So long as you keep facing the right direction and don't let other people convince you to come down to their level, as long as you do that, you're golden. You already have the tools and the vision of how to get to the next step, and you have the ability to control what you can control, which is yourself. So don't try and control how other people are acting to you, but make sure that you maintain control and composure over how you are responding to it, and don't stoop down to their level. So long as you don't stoop down to their level, there's nothing to worry about. Your 10 of Pentacles is coming in because this death and rebirth is wrapping up. You're on the tail end of the death and the rebirth that you previously experienced, and you're getting there pretty quickly, and you're going to start to share that with the world soon, and they have one last chance to try and stop you, and it's not going to work. You were working on some kind of project, some kind of idea, and there was someone that wanted to sabotage this. But whatever it is that you're trying to do is divinely protected. So while you may have needed a little bit of a rest, things are going to start moving forward again without this person. This person is already starting to receive some karma. What is this person's karma? They are drowning in a secret weapon. What is your ancestors or guides' secret weapons against this person to get them to leave you alone? End of the road for, them being involved in your project. But what are they dealing with on their end? Wouldn't want to be them. They're drowning. Everything's just hitting them at once. Inside out. Inside out. Oh, their whole life is getting turned inside out so that they stay away from trying to sabotage you. No go. They're not going there. They cannot proceed on their plan. Intergalactic travel in reverse. They're trapped. They have been distracted enough in their own personal life that they are now pulled out of your way. Spouse partner in reverse. They are no longer an issue for you because they have their own issues to deal with. So you're making a major break from the past this week. It feels like a mindset, but like it also, this mindset has a 3D manifestation of it. So there's something in your physical that's going to shift almost immediately as this mindset shifts. And it's all because you turned on the light inside thanks to literally nobody else but yourself. Like, this is something that you earned through straight up like battles with the devil here. And it was meant to make you feel like there was no place that you could be safe and secure, and that all around you was like lying and scheming. All of that was meant to keep you focused on the 3D so that you would not look internally and make a break from the past. So because you and literally nobody else helped you, this is like 100% just a testament to your willpower and strength. Nobody else. Because you decided to look inside and release. You called judgment on something. You said, I'm not going to continue to work against myself. I'm not going to continue to stand in my own way. And it really, almost like there was two sides of your psyche that were still battling each other, and you were like, no, that's it. I'm not going to continue to allow this to happen. And you're going to now see, you're going to get a test that's going to bring you back inside your mind and show you, oh wow, I've really made a big change here because I'm handling this so much differently, so much better than I would have in the past. And after you get that realization, you almost immediately get a 3D proof of it. So something in your 3D changes as you recognize and notice the internal change. And it's all because you made a choice to not continue to stress out about something that was beyond your control. and you instead changed the way that you were perceiving that situation. Lovers came up again as I split the deck. You got your priorities straight here when it comes to you are the one that's in charge of what's going on inside here, regardless of what's happening out here in the 3D. And you're going to get some kind of reward for seeing the truth of the situation, where previously, through no fault of your own, you were blocking yourself to protect yourself from further pain. But you have recognized that you are the one that creates the safe space externally for yourself by choosing who gets access to your energy and who does not. And you're about to get rewarded for that. There's someone from your past that wanted to teach you a lesson, or it's like a lesson of revenge type of thing. They wanted to delay you. They wanted you to step into the truth of yourself, and they thought you weren't going to like that truth. They thought that you had resisted learning a lesson and that you were kind of faking who you were to the world. So they did something, whether it's creating situations or spell work, to try and draw you out because they wanted you to expose yourself. And whatever they did, it worked because you exposed yourself in the way that they needed you to, but it did not go the way that they thought it was going to go. You get what you give here. They wanted to make you do this, and they got you to do this. It was more they wanted other people to see your true colors, so they created a scenario or did some kind of magic to make that happen. And when it happened, everyone saw your true colors, and they weren't the colors that this person painted you out to be. And now whoever was on this person's side that was believing this illusion before, they're now seeing the truth. They're now seeing that whatever it was that this person was trying to make you out to be was a time in your life that you were dealing with a lot of pain. You were dealing with a lot of wounds, specifically inner child wounds, and you weren't given the space to feel or express or feel safe. And that's why you made the decisions that you made, because you didn't believe that this person was going to help you grow back then. So you took action to walk away from this person in the past because subconsciously, or maybe even consciously, you were aware that this person is not going to add value to your life. And this person kind of proved that you were right, because this entire time they've been plotting and scheming. They could not get over it. They couldn't let it go. They couldn't let that chapter end, and they planned this whole scheme to try and get you to turn off your own light. But you have emotional intelligence above and beyond what this person needed you to have for this plan to work. And this person is in big regret now, because not only did everyone else see your true colors that were much different than what this person needed them to see, but they see your true colors, and they see that you maybe not handled the situation appropriately in the past, or you may not have handled it to their liking, or their ego may have just been hurt by how the situation unfolded when it ended. But them being stuck in that energy, and you moving on and finding your power, and you taking what happened and healing from it and growing from it, not only did their whole plan not work, but they've been dethroned. This person, now everyone's looking at them like, you spent all this time obsessing over showing this person's true colors. You had to have known before this exposure that this person's true colors were not what you were painting them out to be, because you were all up in their business, obsessed, trying to get beyond the walls that they put up, trying to manipulate, trying to block. Now everyone's looking at this person like, why did you still want to bring someone down so bad that their true colors were not the colors that you tried to paint, and you knew that and still kept pushing. So this person that was really going against you hard has no more fight. They have nothing else to do, because everyone can see that you walked away from this person because you were working on your wish fulfillment here. You were working on not playing the fool, and you saw the light that this person was not going to help you be the best version of yourself. So this person is having a major awakening tower moment in which they're recognizing there's certain people you just don't mess with, and you are one of them that they should not mess with again. Something that I've been having trouble like sorting my brain through recently, and it started the other day. I was at the gym, and you know how they have all the TVs up in the middle. There was images of a war, and then the screen on either side of it was a football game. And I know that like people have jobs and still have to do normal life, but it's just so crazy to me that there's people getting blown up on the screen right next to someone getting paid millions to throw a ball. I don't know, it's just our priorities. Like, how does the world not stop? How do we not say, oh shit, we have a problem here, we have to fix it? We can't just let certain people with privilege think that the world continues as normal as children get I don't know. This is a poem from my book, The Reckoning. In the world I know, we push away each other, programmed to be enemies instead of sisters and brothers. In the world I know, the children stand no chance of a future worth fighting for. Either they're exploited on the internet or even placed in a cage with hundreds more. Either way, this is a moral low that we have never experienced before. The world I know, we watch our leaders lie, then in the same breath tell us to believe them or we'll die. All the while you can hear a screaming mother cry, because when they bravely fled to safety, they lost their kids with no goodbye. The world I live in, we refuse to see the beauty, like walking with glasses, lenses, colors of rose. Except this time the wine was poison, and when we speak, out the venom flows. We choose to keep the glasses on even when they're altering how we interpret what we see, because it's easier to follow the majority than to fact check for yourself and maybe disagree. The country that I live in would love to lock you in a cage. Don't let them catch you demanding change or asking them to stand by the untruths they've arranged. Once they get you in there, you'll be surrounded by the others that were thrown away by a broken system that will likely never recover. I want to live in a world where we make people better, notice their storm and lend them our sweater. Adding rain to the swimming pool will only make it wetter, just as speaking love into each breath can only make our world better. The world I live in, fear overpowers love. The state of our mind determines who and what will become. If we run around scared because they tell us to be, we're giving up on our dreams and our desire to be free. In the world I live in, we're distracted by so much. It's easy to forget that life could change with a single touch, or from a conversation with someone with whom you haven't spoken too much. You'll notice we're all broken and meant to be each other's crutch. We hate to accept that we're all connected. Then we'd have to admit our judgments are wrong. The more different they make us feel, the less likely we'll be strong. Why allow them to keep us separate, based off of color, money, and social standing? Misery loves company, and you're in for a non-cushioned landing. The world I want to live in is like the one I live in now, except we all put down our differences and fix this shit somehow. Leaders need to be leaders and stop stirring up more trouble. They want us to light the fires, so they can strand us in the rubble. It's not senseless to believe that you can make a change by being the change you wish to see. Mother Earth is begging us to wake up. Fierceness of her power put on display for all to see. The person that you're being now is not the one you need always be. Imagine if the next step in the human evolution began through you and me. Okay, so this is the scenario for this reading. Someone used to wear a mask around you for a very long time, and they had you fooled for a very long time. And there's another person in this group with the two of you. It's not like a third party situation or anything. It's just like, you know this person and you both have a mutual connection to another person. This person's mask slipped around you one time, a little small, but you then kind of put together the bigger puzzle of their whole plan. You realize that this person was not for you. The other person has recently gotten themselves caught up. So the other person that's in this circle with the two of you has recently got themselves caught up because they tried to go back on a story that first person told about you, because they now know that everybody else is starting to see the truth that connector person is a big liar. Could be feminine energy here, or masculine who just is acting out of a place of emotions. But the ringleader here is someone that you trusted for a long time, and someone who is resisting the lessons that it would take to fix their own problems. So even at this point where this person knows that they're kind of caught, they still don't recognize that the people closest to them have seen the light and they're taking a leap away from them. Ace and Ace, they are losing their footing before they lose their mind. So it's starting at the bottom and then going to trickle its way upward. So they're going to lose their stability, their security, whatever like that. And all of that added together is going to cause this person to go through the chaos that they put you through and that they tried to keep you trapped in. They didn't want you to complete the cycle. They didn't want you to find your way out of it. So the third person, the one that tried to backtrack on a story to save their own butt because they knew that the truth is coming out about that other person, and they know that that other person is being found out for being manipulative. They made a decision they can't go back from by trying to block your victory. And this person doesn't want to have to be on the defensive. So the person that is that third person in this circle is trying to switch over to your side without alerting the middle person that that's happening. They're trying to protect themselves. There's the Ace again. They're trying to protect themselves from the karma that they know they would not be able to handle when it comes to the mental game. They felt like, if I roll the dice here and I lose some material gain or success or stability, whatever, I'll figure it out. This person didn't recognize that this is a spiritual battle and that the devil's coming to collect, and he's not stopping at their earthly possessions. And this person doesn't realize it's too late to switch sides. What you need to know for this upcoming week, that was Justice that flipped over. So Justice for this upcoming week, it's not coming in very quickly. So this might not be the week that you receive the Justice that's coming in, but there's something setting up for the Justice to come in. Again, it's not here yet. Judgment's reversed. So there's still another piece of the puzzle that has to be put in place. Using your pain or looking at your pain in a way that you're not looking at it right now. You have to make some kind of decision here Am I going to stay or am I going to go? Or where am I going to go? Because there's a transition that wants to take place here, but you're still focusing on something that's not going all the way right, or something that's standing in your way. Your inner child. So allowing space to feel your feelings, be creative, just be instead of do is going to be very important, because you get what you give. So if you're giving your inner child the space to create, your inner child will create something for you, because you are the leader of your inner child wound right now. And right now your inner child needs you to be the person who would have rescued you at the age of that wound. 10 of Swords just fell out and was replaced by the King of Wands. So you are taking or have taken some kind of action to not have to be in this position. You've avoided some kind of betrayal or sabotage. You're breaking free from whatever energy would have put you back in the same position to be around where you could fall into that betrayal or sabotage, because someone wanted a reaction out of you and you did not give them one. And if that hasn't happened yet, this upcoming week, someone's going to want a reaction out of you. Don't give them the reaction they're looking for. You're protecting yourself by holding back in this case, in a way that you might not see how it benefits you, because it might feel frustrating to not say everything that you want to say. But you are taking this opportunity so that you can ground yourself deeper into your energy. You have divine support here, and you are pivoting in the right direction to get what you want. But sometimes you have to take steps backwards before you can take steps forward. And in this case, it's not necessarily taking a step backwards, but it's taking a step back from a situation that if you took a step towards it, it would bring you backwards in your progress. It's time for you to take a leap of faith on yourself, and this is basically you showing your higher self, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to hold back when needed, when it comes to reacting from a lower vibrational state or a triggered state. You put in too much work to let it go to waste. And there's nothing they can do to stop you. It's almost like if you hold yourself back this week, you get another piece of the puzzle that shows you a trap that they may try to use for you in the future that won't work because you'll have all the knowledge about it. Someone that you should be able to trust that you can't, not making that person a priority. So not dimming your light for other people. It's the end of that chapter, end of that cycle. We don't do that anymore. We are not dimming our light for other people. The sun is covering the Three of Cups. We are not dimming our light for other people. Anyone who tries to do any kind of magic to manipulate the free will of another is doomed. Amen to that. I have 3 decks in front of me. I'm going to do 2 from each deck. For this collective at this time, what is coming to those who tried to do this, manipulate the free will? So secret space program in reverse, whatever they were trying to keep in the dark is coming to light for everyone to see. And they're going to lose that divine support or connection that they thought they had. So secrets coming out and no working magic to help them. Nothing they can really say because they already stabbed themselves in the foot by talking to too many people, and now people are going to see that that was manipulation. And it's interesting because as you elevate and rise above, almost simultaneously their life takes another step down. So you're going up the steps, they're going down the steps, that cord is going to snap. And whatever energy they thought they could still use to get to you, very quickly becomes moot because they are unable to reach the level that you are now at. They helped propel you into healing as they just set up their own trap. MK Ultra in reverse. Anything that they had that they were using to manipulate the free will is no longer plugged in. It's no longer working. Last card. Just a big confirmation. Microchip. They have no more power. Harsh truths that you need to hear. You're doing better than you're giving yourself credit for, but you're still stuck on like one thing from the past that's preventing you from moving forward. It's like if you could just alter that one speck of the past, something to do with a betrayal that was meant to push you in the right direction, divine redirection here, and you're viewing it as if you made a wrong choice or like a shoulda, coulda, woulda, what if I would have done this differently? You couldn't have done it differently and became who you are right now. So in this case, the ends justify the means. When it comes to your higher self allowing you to go through a stressful or hard situation in which you were going to question yourself for a while after it, you are not blocked permanently because of a choice you made. It's like you're questioning if, did that one thing set me on the wrong direction? That one thing made sure you did not go down the wrong direction. So stop judging yourself so harshly for it. Number 2. Every competition is not bad competition. Sometimes competition is meant to inspire you, and you're viewing it as people are trying to stop you or throw you off, when from a higher perspective, this is a sacrifice that you willingly made to have to put up with this, because it's not that you're being blocked from the victory, it's just that you're showing yourself how much you deserve it and how capable you are of achieving a certain victory despite complications or competition. And you're going to win, but you have to lose your way to find it. You have to view it as negative competition to recognize that it's actually your higher self helping to propel you into the next chapter. Last one. There was some kind of false start, and it was because you hadn't previously learned the lesson from the previous chapter. But since then, you've had certain secrets come out or certain things be revealed to you. So what it wasn't time for in the past, it's time to go back and readdress it. Oh, I have Knight, Knight, and Knight. So the only one missing is Knight of Wands. The only message missing... Oh no, Knight of Wands is there. What am I talking about? Knight of Pentacles. So you have everything you need. You just need to ground it and bring it down. Yeah, High Priestess behind. You have everything you need. Hierophant in reverse coming down the steps. You just have to ground it into your reality, and then you get what you want. So you have all the tools, you're just not using them the right way. It's almost like you're trying to get a hammer to do the job of a screwdriver. But what you want is there, and you don't need anybody else for it. You already have... It's like you already have the knowledge of how to use the tools in a different way. You just have to admit that what you're doing right now is not working all the way, and that there's an adjustment that needs to be made. Don't let yourself stay stuck, because your 10 of Pentacles is, and it's interesting because Knight of Pentacles was the one that was missing out of the 3 Knights. So within the next 3 nights, you can overcome whatever it is that's holding you back. It's not going to take long. It's just going to be a matter of you taking that 72 hours to really look at what needs to be changed and making that change. And then your death and rebirth is there. You get set on a whole nother course that works a lot better for you. So don't stand in your own way. So for those who tried to do SEX magic on the collective, what are they up against now? So we have 5 and 5, both in reverse. So to me, this is like, I thought I wiped my hands clean of it. I'm out of my head and I feel like I got away with it. with the moon. The moon pops out of the bottom. So the start of this person's karma or these people's karma is that nothing happens at first and they think that they escaped it. Almost like if it were to take effect immediately, their karma, they would have swore up and down that it's something that you sent, but you didn't. You just simply walked away here. And it came back out in reverse. They can't walk away from what is coming. It's going to hit them out of nowhere, and it's going to make them feel like they have to like climb up above the lava to get away with it or away from it. First, when it starts to hit them, it's going to hit them in a very public way where they're going to be exposed in the way that they wanted you to be exposed, but yours wouldn't have been a negative exposure. Yours would have been more of like, my heart's on my sleeve and this person is hurting me. Theirs is, I'm coming from a lower vibration and now the entire world or whoever's around me, as in this person, is going to see their true colors. And it's something that they tried to hide. They tried to run away from it because they have this fallen angel energy where, like you said, they feel entitled to do it. But justice is here. And it's coming in a way that it's almost like they think they're going to get away with it. So they go on about their normal lives, kind of still talking to people about however they betrayed you. And then all of a sudden, they start with the public unveiling of their darker true colors, and they know right then what it is. So it's almost like a piece of that karma is knowing that the rest of the karma is coming and not being able to say anything to stop it, because you have this divine protection here, and this person tried to trap you away from that divine protection. Your ancestors and spirit guides don't take that very well. So it seems as though they don't take that very well. In this scenario, these people get to think that they got away with it. And then from the outside in, it's like dominoes that just start to all fall over, and each domino is another thing that this person said about you or another intention they had for you. It's like whatever didn't work for you is on the one side of the domino, and then the other side of the domino that's falling towards them is exactly what they're unable to defend against. They wanted to attack specific wounds or have specific wounds in you triggered or in the collective triggered. And you already, without knowing it, prepared yourself for that attack by previously to this person coming into your life healing those wounds. So that's your divine protection, is that you were healed enough on those certain wounds that this person purposely triggered so that you could kind of maneuver out of the situation away from the binding that this person tried to do. It failed. So that was the king in reverse and the queen upright. Because you stayed grounded and stable in knowing who you are, this person's secure plan didn't work. And this person is going to know exactly what's coming for them before it even comes, and know that they can't do anything to stop it. Can't do anything to stop it because it's happening in the reversal of what they tried to do to you. So they wanted to publicly humiliate you or demean you after privately hurting you and pushing you into a certain situation. Theirs is going to start public, and they know that it's only going to continue getting worse until they are forced to look at themselves in the mirror and say, why did I think I was entitled to do this to another person? They're going to have to face themselves and answer that question. And that is a big piece of their karma, because that doesn't happen until everything else falls apart. And they are quite literally left with their decision, sitting with it, saying, I overstepped a divine law I should not have broken, and now my life has fallen apart as the consequence. Opposite of domestic joy. They're going to lose everything they thought they'd gain, and then some. All because they wanted to try someone who is divinely protected. So we had the time change last night. We fell back, so we gained an extra hour. What are you meant to be doing with this time in this season? Oh, going inward. The Hermit is the first card that came out with the Tower in reverse on the bottom of the deck. Don't be afraid to go inward, or don't hesitate to go inward and look at what you're still experiencing in terms of past pain. This is the season of giving yourself that extra time to look at the very things that you avoided in the last season. Because you're not trapped. And you don't see yourself as trapped anymore. You separated yourself from the betrayal or betrayals that were making you feel trapped. And you're not feeling defeated anymore. You're coming back to life and the sun is out. So you have the strength to go in and look at the wounds that you were avoiding in the last season during this upcoming season. So give yourself time to do that. Give yourself space to do that. The Fool. Allow yourself to take a leap of faith into your own heart, into your own psyche. There's something additional for you to learn, but you have to look at the pain that you were avoiding looking at in order to learn the thing you need to learn. You already planted the seeds for a death and rebirth. This is just you accepting that death and rebirth, and you will come out stronger, wiser, more confident on the other side of it. So lately you have kind of felt like you didn't really want to socialize or talk to people or be around people. And before, you may have been doing a little bit better, or what you consider making progress towards wanting to be more social. And then it's almost like you hit somewhat of a brick wall. And Queen of Swords came out in reverse. As I said that, it's like you're having trouble wanting to express what's going on the inside with people on the outside, and you have the opportunity to do it, but you're holding back. And it's not necessarily that anything is wrong. There's this feeling of like you put down a heavy burden and got out of your head here, and you're regrounding in the new energy. And it's almost like in the past, when this happened, when you were getting out of your head in the past and regrounding in new energy, people would kind of topple you off or try and like lead you down a wrong path and alter your perspective. Almost like when people saw you evolving before, they would try to convince you that you were doing something wrong. And it's not that the people around you are being that way, but you still have this energy of, I'm ready to cut loose anything that doesn't support my growth in a millisecond. And you're right now in this transition period where you're still taking the swords out of your back, and you're not all the way ready to take a chance on other people. It's not that you're not trusting yourself. The last time you were in this same cycle energy, it was that you weren't trusting yourself. Because the first cycle, you got really hurt by people. The second cycle, you didn't trust yourself. And now this third cycle, you're not trusting yourself. You just are making all the way sure about the people around you before you really step out in your new energy with the world. But the transition is happening here. You know that you're not stuck. You don't really see how she's like not even really looking at the mirror. She's not focusing on what's holding her back, because you are in your power, but there's still changes in the way that you want to present yourself to the world, and you're still integrating them within yourself. So all that to say, you're divinely supported in this. Allow yourself space to feel your feelings here. The devil will not win. The path that you're taking, the chains from your past, it's almost like those chains are 3D and you're going on a 5D path. So even if the chains are still there, they're not going to prevent you from moving forward. But give yourself the space, give yourself the time. There's nothing wrong here. You just have uprooted and now you're rerooting yourself. And it has a lot to do with independence and not allowing, almost like you being careful or cautious right now is you passing a subconscious test, because the path that you're taking ahead is going to require some bit of cautiousness so that you don't get imbalanced here. And there's the path again. You're not running from something. You're just learning how to be in and use your new energy, and you're being very cautious about how much of it you spend on other people at the moment, because you've been very heavily deceived in the past and you still feel like that may be chasing you down. Even though you're manifesting a better situation, you're not all the way sure if the past is in the past or if there are still energies from the past trying to stop you, especially by hurting you. So allow yourself to be cautious, but allow yourself to make a break from the past as well. If you stay balanced and trust your intuition here, you'll make the right choices and you'll allow the right people to be in your energy when you're ready for it. That's the same thing though. Don't rush it. Don't try and force yourself to be ready before you're ready. Take it slow and at your own pace here. Don't leave yourself feeling depleted. Don't drain all of your energy. It's not that there's sabotage happening in this regard, because you've learned the lesson of it. Justice is here as well. You've learned the lesson of it, but allow yourself to go at your own pace. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, allow yourself to pull back without judging yourself too harshly. You'll move forward when you're ready to move forward, and you'll speak when you're ready to speak. You're thinking about starting like a project or a new chapter or career, something either creatively or creative inspired, or you're trying to use a piece of your past in a creative way to help you here, but you're scared of the vulnerability that it takes, or you're maybe not scared of the vulnerability, but you're scared how others will receive your vulnerability because of the lid that they put on you from the past. But there's something that you're meant to be using from a certain period of your life where you felt like you were kind of sacrificing your happiness so that you could stay in and learn a lesson about something that you realized or recognized the lesson was very important. And you're meant to be kind of using it to build the foundation here. It's not meant to be the entire focus of this creative endeavor, but you're meant to be using it to build the foundation. And it has a lot to do with people had a wrong idea about you, and you know that stepping out into this particular type of vulnerability will shatter all of the illusions that they had about you. But it's almost like you aren't sure if the whole platform is built yet for you to do this, but it is, because you're divinely supported here. Hermit on the bottom of the deck. You're divinely supported here. And that's what they want. They want you to question if you will be well received, which is why certain people still aren't cheering for you. People still aren't congratulating either your progress or your success so far. And they see it. And they see that you put in the work for it too. They see that it was not handed to you and it was not easy. And they're still not congratulating you, still not saying, hey, good job. I see that you made a lot of strides here. All of them aren't saying shit. And it's because they know that once you take the next step, there's no going back. If they weren't there for you during the come up, they know there's going to be no place at your table once you take this next step. And they don't want you to complete that cycle because you'll get too far out of reach for them. And your passion will allow you to step into changes in your life that they couldn't even fathom in their own life, because they haven't done the work. They haven't seen their own light here, and because of that, their passion is stifled. You're coming up as the King of Wands upright. They're coming up as the Knight of Wands in reverse. They are a step behind and unwilling to even look at, how did you do it? Instead of saying, how did you do it? They just want you to stop doing it so that you stay at their comfort zone. And that's why they're not celebrating your wins, because they know that they are going backwards or staying stuck and stagnant because they're choosing to focus on the knocked over cups instead of the cups that are still upright. They're choosing to focus on what has gone wrong. In particular, how did you get so far ahead of them? How are you getting what you wanted? And it's because you prioritized the right things while they just prioritized watching you. So stepping out of this comfort zone, you're worried that you're going to be met with resistance or not well received. But it's time for you to free yourself from the prison that they locked you in terms of they know really well how to self-sabotage, so they projected that onto you so that you would doubt yourself and you would think that there's going to be this resistance when you step forward with this vulnerability. So you've been waiting and waiting and waiting, not going on the adventure, but it's time. You will be well received when you wear your heart on your sleeve in this way. You are showing up as the magician with divine support. Take a chance on yourself. There were some weapons formed against you that were never going to prosper in the first place, but they have been destroyed. And the cards that came out are making me think of that quote, "Any scar on my heart didn't come from an enemy." We have the 10 of Cups in the reverse next to Death in reverse. People that had some kind of position in your life where you cared for them, whether that be literal family or just someone close to you, the call is coming from inside the house. So it is those people who are trying to stop you, specifically through your inner child, or using your past against you, or using certain wounds that they were aware of to kind of try and get you disconnected from your higher guidance, like have you self-sabotage to release yourself from your higher guidance. But that was never going to happen. As I said, they were never going to prosper. No matter how much hard work they put into it, the devil was never going to win. But this weapon or these weapons have been destroyed at this point. Because you're light, because of your protection, because you passed a test here, because you didn't give up and you stayed. You had to learn the lesson of knowing who to give information to and who was just going to use that information against you to try and derail the seeds that you already planted. So you figured it out. You realized who wasn't for you because they didn't love themselves and could not be for you regardless. Now we have another 10 of Pentacles in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse. So whoever this was that was close to you was trying to uproot you and then leave you kind of like stranded on an island by yourself type energy. But again, it was never going to work. It was never going to prosper. They wanted to control how people saw you or perceived you. But 7 of Swords is in reverse here. What they did it too intensely, and they showed their true colors by doing so. And now everyone can see that they were abusing their position in your life and they were not being honest and truthful about the things that they were saying about you. So this weapon is now destroyed. They're coming up as the King of Swords in the reverse while you're coming up as the King of Cups. So you took action on giving yourself space to feel and work through your emotions, and because of that they were no longer able to keep you locked out in the cold. That's what they needed to do. They needed to get you so hurt or so damaged that you stopped looking at your feelings and tried to run from them like they did their whole entire life. Judgment in the reverse, but you said, nope, I'm giving myself the space and opportunity for a fresh start to feel certain things. I'm not going to play the fool's game here and allow you to make me numb. They wanted to numb you because they felt as though if you were numb, you would not be in your divine authority here because you'd be too focused. They always shining the light on the 6 of Cups. They wanted you so focused on your past that you stopped looking towards what could be made better in the future. But this weapon that they formed, not only is it not prospering, but it's been destroyed now. Why has it been destroyed? So this is my main confirmation card on my YouTube channel. So yes, it has been destroyed. This also makes me think of like a pebble thrown into the sea. Like they can try really hard to find what they were using before and get it back, but there's no way it's going to work. It's been destroyed now because the cord has been cut. Organized crime. The entire group effort that was coming against you is not going to prosper. It's like they're all drowning in exactly what they tried to send to you. And they want to get out of there quick. So run away would imply they're now going to leave you alone a little bit more because they have their own demons to wrestle with now. Body double deep fake exposed. Every time you interact with this person or these people now, upon leaving the conversation or ending the conversation, something that they said in the conversation, if you look at it carefully enough, will confirm what your intuition has already told you about them or their plan. So now they have to be very careful interacting with you because they know every interaction gives you another piece of the puzzle. It was a whole group organization that were hell-bent on stopping you. No weapon formed shall prosper. Your higher power is higher than the law. And they broke it to try and stop you. Corruption. This is for anyone who either within the last 6 months or within a 6-month time frame, this person came and left your life. But there was sex magic that someone was trying to use on you as a binding. They were trying to bind you so that you could not see the betrayal that they already planned on doing coming. Like you couldn't see it coming before it came. This person is coming up as the devil because either a karma swap or basically like just trying to delay your blessings from coming in by binding you to them because they knew that they had bad karma coming in and they wanted your light to assist them in making it through that bad karma, and or they wanted that bad karma to spill into you. But you had this divine protection here that let you know to get away from this person. It's like the binding that they were trying to do, your divine protection alerted you to a very minuscule part of it subconsciously. And once that happened, you saw the whole setup consciously. It was an attack on your inner child that you weren't supposed to see coming. And it was supposed to make you doubt yourself. My hair keeps coming down like a microphone here, and it's making me think like this person wanted to direct or redirect the internal dialogue in your mind. Yeah, this is a delay, and upright, this is like quick communication, but it's in reverse. This person wanted to make you stumble over your words, second guess yourself, second guess the path that you're taking. They wanted to call judgment. They wanted to bring a final, it feels like your destiny. They wanted to stop you from going towards your destiny, which wasn't going to work here. 9 of Pentacles in reverse. They weren't going to get what they wanted because you already planted certain seeds that sprouted just enough already to alert you to this person's betrayal. And this person, again, wanted to bind you so that they could quickly change the tone as soon as they got you into a particular situation. So they wanted to bind you just long enough to them. They knew that you were going to see through their stuff eventually, but they wanted to bind you to them until the betrayal was complete because they thought that they would somehow latch you into like a permanent situation with them that you wouldn't be able to get out of after that betrayal. So that could be something legal, that could be children, that could be, you know, something along those lines. They wanted to bind you long enough so that they knew that you would eventually see their betrayal, but they wanted to bind you long enough that it wouldn't matter because you wouldn't be able to completely end the connection because of something that they spiritually binded you to them, and then there was a intended 3D manifestation of the spiritual binding. Where were they trying to take you? Good, man-made disaster. They needed you to approve their man-made disaster by knowing that it was coming, but not being able to get away from them. Struggle. Why? Abuse of power. They wanted to expose you, teach you a lesson and expose you. How do they feel about that now? Like they don't belong. They messed with something that they had no business messing with. The only way that they would know that is if karma is starting to hit them. Message from your guides, what they want you to know or focus on right now. Okay, there is either a snake exposing themselves, or you are going to learn the dirt of a snake from the past. It's someone from the past. It's not recent. You're learning something now about a betrayal from the past. What do you need to know about it? This can resonate differently. It's either a party friend that you're learning something about, or it's like a group of people, like a group effort. You're learning it because you're free and clear of whatever they were trying to do to you. Now you're going to learn what they said, to lie to you, to cover up what they were doing. So you're learning what their plan was now that their plan has officially failed and you are clear of it. This is not going to be for everybody. This is for those that know that you're encountering somewhat of an enemy this upcoming week. Someone who doesn't want to see you in your element, especially socially. Someone who wants to see you down and defeat it. We're looking into, do you need to be worried about running into this person this week or not? It does look like this person is going to try and confuse you, especially when it comes to the way that you feel about yourself. So maybe like taking like low blows about maybe your appearance or something like that. But 10 of Swords is in the reverse. It doesn't feel like they're going to actually try and do anything against you. It feels like whatever they were doing in the past, they are experiencing the tower moment of it already, experiencing the karma of it already, and they're not going to try and add more karma to that because they already can't get out of the karma they're experiencing. So they're not going to try and do anything against you, like to your face or any kind of magic, but they are going to try and confuse you or make you feel a certain way about yourself because they don't want to see you in that victory, but they can't sabotage you because the karma is already karmaing. So all they can do is get you to sabotage yourself. Just don't let them and you're golden. The only thing they can do is try to manipulate the way that you feel about yourself. 10 of Pentacles reversed. But other than that, nothing to worry about. Feeling called to channel a passage from one of my favorite books. Okay. The solution the Romans came up with, which they would later call divide and rule, was to become the strategy which they forged their empire. Essentially, they broke up the league but did not treat all of its parts equally. Instead, they created a system whereby some of the cities were incorporated into Roman territory and their residents given full privileges as Roman citizens. Others were deprived of most of their territory but granted near total independence. And others still were broken up and heavily colonized with Roman citizens. No single city was left powerful enough to challenge Rome, which retained the central position. As the saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. The key to the system was that if an independent city proved itself loyal enough to Rome or fought well enough for Rome, it won the chance of being incorporated into the empire. The individual cities now saw it as more in their interest to gain Rome's favor than to ally themselves elsewhere. Rome held out the prospect of great power, wealth, protection, while isolation from Rome was dangerous. And so the once proud members of the Latin League now competed against one another for Rome's attention. Divide and rule is a powerful strategy for governing any group. It is based on a key principle. Within any organization, people naturally form smaller groups based on mutual self-interest. The primitive desire to find strength in numbers. These subgroups form power bases that, left unchecked, will threaten the organization as a whole. The formation of parties and fractions can be a leader's greatest threat, for in time these factions will naturally work to secure their own interests before the one of the greater group. The solution is to divide to rule. To do so, you must first establish yourself as the center of power. Individuals must know they need to compete for your approval. There has to be more gained by pleasing the leader than by trying to form a power base within the group. I'm going to go and see what chapter this is from, because that lines up with what feels like is going on in our world today. Okay, defeat them in detail. Divide and conquer. When you look at your enemies, do not be intimidated by their appearance. Instead, look at the parts that make up the whole. By separating the parts, sowing dissension and division from within, you can weaken and bring down even the most formidable foe. In setting up your attack, work on their minds and create internal conflict. Look for the joints and links, the things that connect the people in a group or connect one group to another. Division is weakness, and the joints are the weakest part of any structure. When you are facing troubles or enemies, turn a large problem into small, defeatable parts. Divide and conquer. I'm going to share the daily law for today because there's lots of people out there who need to hear this one. Make envy a spur to achievement. Instead of wanting to hurt or steal from the person who has achieved more, we should desire to raise ourselves up to his or her level. In this way, envy becomes a spur to excellence. We may even try to be around people who will stimulate such competitive desires, people who are slightly above us in their skill level. To make this work requires few psychological shifts. First, we must come to believe that we have the capacity to raise ourselves up. Confidence in our overall abilities to learn and improve will serve as a tremendous antidote to envy. Instead of wishing to have what another has or resorting to sabotage out of helplessness, we feel the urge to get the same for ourselves and believe that we have the ability to do so. Second, we must develop a solid work ethic to back this up. If we are rigorous and persistent, we will be able to overcome almost any obstacle and elevate our position. People who are lazy and undisciplined are much more prone to feeling envy. We cannot stop the comparing mechanism in our brains, so it is best to redirect it into something productive and creative.